Here we go. And we are live, and we are live here in our YouTube channel. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome to our live stream here in our YouTube channel. Good evening and happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Yes, it's Valentine's. Let me just see. It's Valentine's Day. How's your day so far? I think I'm so bright, so I need to make myself darker. Um, all right. Let me just, yep, I think that's better. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hi, Paul. Can you teach me about science codons? The inherit. Oh, okay. Inherit, heredity. Okay. All right. We have um, a topic tonight on love chemistry. Let me check if I still have. Wait up. Oh. Mm-hmm. For a while, for a while. What happened? Okay. For a while, for a while, for a while. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, what do you mean, Ambery? About what? Specifically about what in hereditary? What is about? What is it about? Oh my goodness, it's so bright. Okay. Yes, we have a specific topic tonight. So probably after this topic, then we can talk about what is that? Science codons. Actually, that's under bio. I'm not so into bio, but hereditary. That's on hereditary and inheritance. All right. Okay. So we will just quickly go through our topic for tonight, which is on chemistry of love. Oh, because it's a Valentine's. It's so cheesy. You're so cheesy, ma'am. You're so cheesy, teacher. Okay. Actually, I'm not. Um, I'm actually tired. I actually don't want to do. I actually don't want to do. Um. Anyways, enough with that. Um. For a while. Yes. Yes. Okay. Cool. So we will be talking on the chemistry of love. So when we say love, what is love? It has when you are in love, it's actually more of an effect on you than what you may think of. And you would notice something that has changed when you are in love. So when you are in love, the chemicals in our body, they actually go crazy. Okay. And the beginning stages of love you have here, your body reacts with probably a sweaty palm, a rapid beating of your heart, or when you blush, flushing of our skin, yung magre-red yung mga fesnget natin. When you have your flushing of your skin, this is because our body releases. These are the important chemicals that are released in our body: dopamine, norepinephrine, and phenylethyl phenylethylamine. Okay, so these are your different chemicals that are being released, and each of these chemicals actually depends. Papa A, what is caused by oxytocin daw? Hi, Papa A. Thank you so much, Papa A. Yes. So these are yes, we will talk about oxytocin in a while as well, Papa A. So these are the different chemicals that is actually released in our body when we feel not just love but anything with regards to our emotions. Okay? So let's start with dopamine. So when we say dopamine, this is what we call the pleasure chemical. Why is it pleasure chemical? Because this is being produced by our body when we feel happy, and oh my goodness, my happiness is wrong spelling. And when we feel blessed, okay? When they say you are in cloud nine, yun, that kind of feeling. So that is because of dopamine. Si Mr. Dopamine po ang reason why we feel that feeling. Okay? The second chemical that we have that is actually released in our body is what we call the norepinephrine. Okay? Norepinephrine. This is similar to adrenaline. What feeling po? Yung feeling na you're very happy and you feel like you're in cloud nine. When they say na, oh, you are in cloud, I'm in cloud nine because of what I feel. I feel so in love. This is love. Ganon. That is because of dopamine. Okay? And norepinephrine is similar to adrenaline. And this makes you excited and you're, oh, bakit ang daming wrong spelling? This is heart. Oh my goodness. Heart race. Hindi ko na. Okay. What is cloud 9 feeling? Yung after sa cloud 8. How do I say it? How do I explain it? It's like a different level of happiness. Yung feeling mo na yung ngiti mo ay hanggang tenga to tenga. Ganon. Okay? So your norepinephrine is similar to your adrenaline. It's making you excited. Yung parang hindi ka mapakali. Ganon. So that is because of these chemical. It makes your heart race like tugdug, tugdug, tugdug. Oh, grabe, you know, yung side effects. Yes. So that is the reason why. And both of these chemicals, your dopamine and your norepinephrine, makes a person feel intense emotion. It you would feel that intense emotion, and para kang na-elate, yung elevated. That's why they call it cloud nine. Yung parang you're flying over and above the clouds, parang ganon. Okay? So you have an elation, you have that extra energy. You cannot sleep because of how you feel and what you feel. That is the sense of wanting. Yung gusto mo yung isang tao, or you would Cloud9 is like over exaggerated expression, meaning you're so very exactly, Papa A. Yeah, as if you don't see anything else kundi yung taong yun. So that is because of these chemicals. Okay? Like you lost that focus in class, magde-daydream ka na lang sa crush mo, ganon. That is the side effect of dopamine and norepinephrine. Okay? So these are those feelings that you have, like halimbawa, yung loss of focus or loss of appetite, yung mga those things. And this causes people to act like they are not themselves. Parang ganun siya. Okay? So those are your um, chemicals. Now, there are also other chemicals apart from dopamine. So these two chemicals would elate or would make you feel very, very happy. But there are other chemicals which Papa A has mentioned. By the way, please do not forget to follow Papa A's world. Papa A, wala ka bang work today? Okay? Which is what we call the oxytocin or oxytocin. Okay? So oxytocin is released after dopamine. So this is often called the cuddle hormone. Okay? This is released, wala namang space, released during touching. When you touch someone you love. Wow naman. Touch. Okay? So this is released after dopamine when someone touches you. Like for example, yung crush mo or anyone that you love, when someone touch you, then oxy tats by tats. Tats by tats nga. Okay? So that's oxytocin. Ayan. The next one, which both gender produces, is testosterone. Okay? They might think na parang lalaki lang yung may testosterone eh. No, it's not. It's both gender. All right? So it's both gender that produces your testosterone. And pasintabi po sa ating mga minors na andyan, but you have to understand as well that this is part of science. Testosterone is the hormone behind lust. Okay? Yung pagnanasa. Pagnanasa mo sa isang tao. L-U-S-T. Ayan. Erase lang natin kasi baka meron tayong... Yes. So that is what is being released. So if you would think about it, that is mostly done with couples. Okay? I mean, that's mostly done. That's mostly produced when two couples are in that. Yes. Okay. So that is produced. The surge of your testosterone is produced equal to the lust. All right. The next one that you have is your endorphins. It sounds familiar. It reads familiar. Endorphin is, it calms anxiety and pain. It reduces the amount of stress. Ayan, para makita nyo. And the chemical is associated with feeling of attachment and comfort. Yun yung endorphin natin. So, sometimes, halimbawa, kailan ba ito nafe-feel ng isang tao na in love? So, most of the time, this endorphin is released when, after, okay, when you feel that security, comfort, and attachment, most of the time, when couples after their honeymoon, so endorphins are being released. Ayan, ha? So probably in a period of 4 years, 18 months to 4 years, these endorphins are being released. So this chemical is associated with feeling of attachment and comfort. So when you feel that security from a person, then your body is releasing endorphin. Okay, so oxytocin is actually the chemical that is released after your dopamine, and this is whenever people touch or couples touch each other, like holding hands or touching the face or anything. So these are the chemicals that are released. So meaning being in love is not just a simple emotion out of the blue moon from your heart, but being in love is actually a reaction of chemicals happening inside your body. Ayan po. Feelings, those are feelings. So when you feel like yung andyan yung crush mo tapos nagbablush ka, then those are chemicals being released in our body. When you are very very happy after today, when you received your flowers and your chocolates and all those things, that is because of the chemicals that are released in our body. Okay? Huwag niyong sisihin yung mga heart niyo. Yeah. Okay? Heart is just an internal organ that we have that pumps blood and circulates that. Okay? Wala yang pakialam sa feelings mo. It's actually your chemicals in your body. And on top of that, apart from the chemicals, it's actually our brain. Okay? Remember, in anatomy, our brain instruct the whole body how we feel, how we react. It's our brain. The neurons in our brain would send that message how you would feel, how would you react. Pag halimbawa, natusok ka ng thorn ng rose na receive mo, the brain would sense it, and the neurons will send that message to tell your finger and yourself to say ouch because it's painful. Tapos magbi-bleed, parang ganon. Okay? It's your brain. So the brain in love, when a person is in love, oh, grabe naman to. Bakit ba tayo na in love datsu? Okay? So when a person is in love, the frontal cortex, which is part of our brain, necessary for judgment. So when we decide on things, when we judge on things, it's our frontal cortex that does that. But when we are in love, this frontal cortex shuts down. That's why most of the people would say love is blind. Hindi po. May nag-shut down lang sa utak mo. Oh, wag. It's not love is blind. Mali na naman to mga spelling ko kasi kakadali ko kanina Okay? This occurs if a person is shown a picture of someone they love, or they saw them, or they are physically with them. The frontal cortex of our brain shuts down, which is the part of our brain that does the judgment and like some choice that you do or decisions that you make. Okay, so you cannot that's why most of the people would say love is blind. Ba't ka ba in love ng taong yan na wala ka namang blah 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 ganon. Don't fully blame it to the person, because sometimes They cannot think well and judge well because they are in love, and their body is releasing the necessary hormones, and their frontal cortex shuts down. Okay? So when you are in love, you completely adore this person.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Uh,
Bluetooth connected.
what Bluetooth are you talking about? Nagsabi lang siya, Bluetooth disconnected, Bluetooth connected. I don't know which Bluetooth. Off naman lahat ng Bluetooth. Ayan, going back to the topic. So when you are in love, the um the part, okay, when you're in love, you are completely adoring that person. Okay? So when you're completely adoring that person, and your logic and your judgment is shut down, then a large part of your brain is deactivated. Only some part is active. Okay? Only some part is active. Hence, that's the reason why we feel and say to someone who is in love to be blind. They are blinded by their feelings. Okay? So that's the reason. So, when in love, the parts of your brain that controls your fear and other negative emotion close down or shuts down. This is why most people in love are much happier compared to those who are not, because they are not in a position to make a judgment, or they are not in a position to act on it. Okay? So the brain may act this way uh, because it's likely like to make reproduction more likely, but the two most unlikely paired could get together if there were no judgment and logic. All right? And unfortunately, this is the hardest to listen to a friend, 'di ba? Yung when they tell you, why are you in love with that person, or why are you in that relationship? Okay, that's the hardest part. But actually, or why are you in that affair? But actually, you cannot make a sound judgment or a sound or a logical decision because you are in love. Okay, that's the reason why uh, uh, it's better to love a person um, because of a decision, or you love that person because of your choice rather than just feelings. Kasi nga, ang feelings, it might be there only for 8 months to 4 years. Yon, dahil sa chemicals that our body is releasing. However, after such period of time, when our chemicals are not, when our body is not releasing that amount of hormones, such as your dopamine and your oxytocin, then you wouldn't feel that elation, or you wouldn't feel that excitement and happiness anymore. And that is where your frontal cortex is working, and then you will have that doubt, or you would question yourself, or that's where the time where things will be complicated for some relationship. So hence, after which your feelings and all those chemicals release disappear, or is not releasing much for you to feel it, then you have to make a choice. All right. So again, when you are in love, the part of your brain that controls your fear and your negative emotions shuts down. So this is why most of the people in love are much happier to those that are not. Okay, so that is our oxytocin. What is this? What chemical chemistry of love? Okay, so remember these different chemicals: your dopamine, your norepinephrine, your oxytocin, and your testosterone, and your endorphins. Okay, cool. All right. Oh my goodness. Cool. All right. So going back to question with love chemistry. Andyan ka ba Ambery? Are you still there, Ambery? Hi, Papa A World. Please don't forget to follow Papa A World. Yung iPad ko ay good evening. Good evening, Maha Blanca. All right. Ambery, anything specific with Mom, unsay ng dopamine, hormones, and nerves? Oh, it's when we say dopamine, oxytocins, these are chemicals in our body that are being released. Yes. Okay, Maha Blanca. Ambery. Ambery pala. Okay. So when when you when you are attracted to another person, okay, your brain would release dopamine, oxytocin, okay, and this will give you that yung how do you call this emotions, the surge of your emotions. Yung you would feel the happiness, you would feel your heart racing, your face will blush, or you would feel excited. That is because of these chemicals. Okay, and your nerve would, because of these chemicals, then your brain would, the frontal cortex of your brain shuts down. Doesn't mean that it's not when we say shut down, oh, are we having brain dead, our brains dead? No, 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 it's not like that. It's just that it stops judging or making that logical thinking, because that's the logical thinking part of our brain, the frontal cortex. All right. Okay. So when we are attracted, let me just clear this. So when we it's about attraction, then this will be your dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. Okay. And if it is attachment, then this will be your oxytocin and your. Can you send me the PPT of this? I'm lagging. You can actually search it in the internet. Okay, I'll send it to you. And you have your vasopressin. Vasopressin. Okay. So when we say love, it can be um, divided into three categories. We have lust, attraction, and attachment. So for the lust, it's testosterone. For attraction, it's dopamine. norepinephrine and serotonin. For attachment is oxytocin and vasopressin. All right. So each type or own it has its own set of hormones. Clear, clear, clear. All right. So when we say love, it's more on the attraction to the other person. So though we are, it doesn't mean that it's when we say love, it's only opposite attracts. Okay, we also love our parents. We also love our siblings, but it's a different kind of feeling. So as again when we say loving someone, but it's more fun and effective to learn it, ma'am, though through your PowerPoint. It has more simpler description, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Sure, sure, sure. Okay. So even though we are a certain, even though we are certain about, you know, our feelings for others or vice versa, attraction involves brain pathways. It's all in the brain. It's not actually from the heart. The heart doesn't have anything to do with love. Okay, it shouldn't be the heart's problem or the heart's fault. The heart is just there to pump blood. All right, it's all because of our brain. So it's more or less the same as reward system, like those kind, which partly we um, the what is this um, explain why some relationships are just a few weeks, some relationships are just months, or some relationship can last for years. So sometimes when we say relationship, it's more on decisions, it's more on choices that we make instead of just depending on how we feel, how we feel the attraction and attachment to a certain person. Because there will come a time wherein our brain um, will not, I mean, it's not all the time it will emit all these hormones. Okay? Just like adrenaline. It's not every day that our brain releases adrenaline and you feel that rush. So it's the same with the love chemicals. Okay? So when dopamine is being released in our hypothalamus, if you know where the hypothalamus is, that's where your dopamine is released. And yeah, so when it's released, then we feel so good. That's why you would say that it's like you are in cloud nine or you are very happy. So that is the thing that we release when we feel I feel good, that kind of feeling. Okay, and when you release dopamine, there is also what we call norepinephrine, which is released during attraction. So this chemical makes that giddy feeling, that excitement, that flushing, blushing of our face, and all those things. You cannot sleep, and all those things. That is because of these chemicals. Then you would say, is this love? Is this love? Oh, okay. Then you sing that song. All right. So then you can say that you are in love when you cannot eat, when you cannot sleep, you're constantly thinking of the other person. Then isn't that familiar for some that will be uh, the feelings that you have? Okay. Like you go crazy. Then when this attraction, we have then the attachment. Attachment, this one, the attachment is actually the predominant factor in a long term relationship. Okay? This is the factors that are very important in a long-term relationship, because that giddy feeling, that excitement, that will subside, that will not last. All right. So it's the attachment. It's more um, it's more important. So again, it's not just attachment is not just limited to opposite person, um, but attachment to your parents, parent-infant bonding, parent-child bonding, friendship, um, what else? Your siblings. This is the chemical that you release. It's more on the attachment. So your oxytocin and your vasopressin. Okay, so oxytocin is nicknamed as the cuddle hormone. Hormone. Um, like dopamine, your oxytocin is produced by hypothalamus as well. It's from the brain. It's produced from the brain, and it is released in a very large amount when a mother does breastfeeding, childbirth, or yes, when two people do. Where is kernel? I don't know where is corna kernel. Okay. Yes. So yeah, that is the chemical being released. So that is your oxytocin is the chemical release when we have that bonding with the other person. When someone touches us, when someone, cuddle, or that feeling. Yeah. All right. So with the family, with your loved ones, with your friends, with your siblings, it's attachment. But other emotions or falling in love and that feeling of happiness and being in love is attraction. And that doesn't last long. Okay, the attraction will be there. However, it's the attachment that is very important. Cool. Yes. So any. Okay. So just to add on, when we say when does love hurts? Wow. Love hurts ka na, ma'am. Eh, ano pa tayo? Happy Valentine's pa tayo. Teacher Maria, you're talking about love hurts already? So, this, when we say, this rosy picture of love, that when these hormones are released, it's like you are in La La Land, in a paradise. Yeah, it's making you feel so good. It's like very close to your partner, your romantic partner, and all those things. And sometimes it's accompanied with jealousy or some erratic behavior. That is because of the chemicals. All right, that is because of the chemicals that you have. It seems that our chemicals are also responsible for the downside of love. So those things are because of the chemicals. So let's take, for example, dopamine. This hormone is also responsible for um, different things in our brain. For example, that means that it's not just all good things, all good feelings of happiness. Dopamine, in fact, is actually, when it comes to addiction, dopamine is also one of the culprit. Okay, so this is the same as for drug addicts. So when they take cocaine, uh, when all those things, it has a certain amount of, or it contains a certain amount of dopamine. So that dopamine, um, that will make them that have that feeling of high. So they will be looking for that excitement. They will be looking for that high factor. So that is because of that. So it's the same brain region, that lights up when when you become addicted to, or dependent to something, and when it's about your feelings to partners as well, or your emotions, it's the same. So the same region, the same longing, the same feeling, but it's just that it has different side effects. So you will have your erratic behavior, you will have that excitement, that happiness, that mix of feelings. You cannot sleep, you will have insomnia because you're constantly thinking of the other person. That the same feeling also is the same when someone is addicted to um, a certain drug with such. All right. Cool. So yes, that is it. Any question? Mahablanca, Mahablanca, Ambery. Doo-doo-doo-doo. What was your question, Ambery, on uh what is that question? Okay. Can you type it again? Hereditary inheritance. Codons. Are you talking about the GTCA? Okay. All right. So that is what we have. And um, so just to wrap it up. So, in short, when we say there is this sort of formula for love, and however, it's a work in progress. It's like there are many questions left unanswered, how why we feel this way and why these things happen. And we realize that it's not just the hormone side, as always. Equations or formulas of love, it's not just on hormones and your brain. Sometimes as well, it's like there are some signals in our brain that we don't understand. So love can be both the best, or it can be the worst thing for you. When we say the best, it can be the thing that gets us up in the morning. It give us that motivation, or it makes us never want to wake up, or never wanted to see the world, or just be in ourselves, and you know ruin our lives. So I'm I couldn't really fathom how it should be with, but yes, as as always, the best and unconditional love that we received is found in John 3:16. All right. So in the end, everyone is capable of defining what love is for them. And that's why when marriage, in a marriage ceremony, They would always say for better or for worst, because the feelings are different extremes. Okay, so maybe each of us can have chemistry with just anyone else. Everyone has this hormones, but it still rests on you how you handle things. Cool, because that is from our brain. But as always, as I've said, the greatest love of all, the, the most unconditional love that we have received is found in John 3:16. And I think everyone knows that. Cool, cool, cool. That is our love chemistry. All right. So we are almost at the end of our yes, we're almost at the end. Yeah, questions so far. Before we I guess we would end. I would end my live stream actually, unless there is a question from the audience. I don't know, Maha Blanca, where is Colonel? Toot-toot-toot. Toot-toot. Um, Ambery, are we talking about genetic codes? Let me know. Is this about genetic codes? Please comment. So if it's genetic code, we have AGTC. This corresponds to the nucleotides that we found in our DNA. Okay, and they are arranged according to codons. So when we say genetic code, this is actually a collection of codons. So that means for 20 amino acid, there's also 20 codons. Okay, 20 codons. So each codon should have at least 3 nucleotides. Nucleotides. All right. So nucleotides, you can have a nucleotides of 4 combination. You can have a nucleotides of 6 combinations or 64 combination, whatever it fits you. So for example, you have ATG. This one will be 1. And then you have CTA. That will be another one. And then GGC. That's another one. So you will have 3 bases, and then you will have your codes. Cool. Is this the one that you asked? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Oh, Ambery. So your genetic code will have your AGTC, and you have your nucleotide sequences of amino acid. So words, how should I say it? Words in dictionary are in the form of codons, like it's being arranged accordingly. So each codon is a triplet of nucleotides. So you have ATG, CTA, GGC. So that's three of which. And 64 codons in total. And three out of these are nonsense codons. And 61 codons for 20 amino acid. So, sorry ma'am, lag kaayo. Okay, no problem. Yes, the DNA and the RNA. So you will have your ATG, CTA, or your GGC. So there will have that. Um, yes, there will have that specific um, specific code. So DNA. All right. Okay. So we have your DNA and rDNA. So rDNA is your ribonucleic acids. So in the, how should I say it? The central, there are two steps. That is a transcription. We have your transcription and translation. Okay, transcription and translation. So the information in your genes flows into protein. So you have your DNA to your RNA, and then you have your protein. So the pathway of your protein synthesis, we call it protein synthesis, is what we call translation, because the language of nucleotide sequence from your mRNA, that is being translated into amino acid sequence, and your how it's being translated, you have your it requires your genetic code. So through the information from your codes, then you can specifically sequence your amino acid. So how does it go? You have your mRNA, right? You have your mRNA. This is where your A, G, T, C, U, and all, so on and so forth. This will be translated. This is by 3. Okay, it's a triple by 3, and then this will be translated into your amino acids, your DNA and RNA. Yes, yes. Okay. So then you will have your, for example, your, how should I think you have your, sorry ma'am, lag kaayo. Okay. There is a specific code like UUU. This is for phenylalanine. UUU is phenylalanine. Or, okay. So it cannot code other kind of amino acid. UUU is specifically for phenylalanine. And then you have your U UAU, you have your UGA, and then CGU, and all those things. So it's always like a three letter of your mRNA. Like AUA, those codes for methionine, UGA for tryptophan. So you have UGA for tryptophan. And yeah, and so on and so forth. AGA for arginine, and then your AGG as well. So these are, so from your mRNA, from your DNA, then it can be, I think, yeah. So your DNA, your RNA, and then your protein. So it's the protein synthesis. So when you have the protein synthesis, where you get your tryptophan, your arginine, and all those things, these are respectively placed in your um, protein machineries in your cell, right? So they are in your mitochondria. Cool. So that means that three of your bases of your DNA are, then it will be together by three. It will be converted to amino acid and then to your protein. All right. So three codons out of 64 in our genetic codes, which do not actually encode any of our amino acids. So this is what we call the termination codons, or this is where it stops. Okay, it stops. So they are also called the nonsense codons because they are not being uh, converted. So the stop codons are your UAA, you have your UAG, those are the codons that you have. Cool. So that is your um, codons. Cool. DNA and all the RNA. Any other question? Oh, any question? Question, clarification before we end our live stream? All right. So I guess there are no questions. Thank you for our 5 viewers tonight. Thank you for our 6 viewers as well. We are on the last 2 minutes of our live stream. I only stream an hour here here in our YouTube channel. And as mentioned last time, I have a plan to co-stream my YouTube to Facebook, and I guess there will be more students there as well. Uh, yeah, as I have mentioned last time, our YouTube is to reach out to more teenagers, to more students, to help them out in their maths and science. All right, so I guess there are no other question. Um, thank you very much for our viewers tonight. Thank you so much for staying. Thank you so much for the question. Thank you, Ambery. Thank you, Mahablanca. Papa A, um thank you for dropping by. Thank you so much. And I'll see you again next week, same time. I hope that you have other questions about maths and science. You can leave a comment in any of my videos. Then I'll see and whether we won't play. No, Maha Blanca, it's almost 1 hour. I only have 1 minute, 30 seconds left. 1 minute and 30 seconds. 1 minute left. Probably next week. Uh, cool. So, thank you so much. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have learned something tonight from our chemistry of love. I hope that you have learned the different chemicals that our brain releases, specifically from our hypothalamus, about the different feelings of attraction and attachment. All right. So that ends our live stream for tonight. As always, as Teacher Maria would say, do live your life to the fullest, learn something new every day, and love one another as how our God loves us. See you next week for our live stream again. Same time, same channel here, and same teachers, same teacher. Yours truly, Teacher Maria. Good night. God bless. And happy Valentine's, everyone. See you next week. Bye bye. It's all right. Good night. Take care. Bye bye.